Are you being guided or manipulated? Welcome to today's conversation on how to identify a toxic boss, coach, mentor, pastor, or parent. Good to see all of you. Thank you so much for showing up. This is going to be beautiful and short. Happy Father's Day to all the responsible men out there, men who are present, who are loving fathers, loving husbands. Happy Father's Day to all of you and well done. So, are you being guided or manipulated by your coach, your mentor, your pastor, your boss, or your parent? How to identify a toxic boss or anyone who is toxic in your life? Are we ready? Please talk to me in the comment section. Are we ready? Let me know where you're listening to this conversation from. And we're about to start, and it's going to be hot. Are we ready? Please talk to me in the comment section. And thank you so much for joining once again. How to identify. So, have you ever been manipulated or controlled or gaslighted or just being in a toxic mentoring relationship? Have you ever been in that space where you know that whatever is going on, it's not supposed to be going on the way it is going on? Please talk to me in the comment section. Good to see you, Mr. O. Happy Father's Day to all the solid men out there. I'm rooting for you. May God increase your greatness. So, if you've ever been in a toxic relationship with a mentor, coach, parent, or pastor, what exactly does being in a toxic mentorship mean? Honestly, any relationship, be it coaching, mentoring, pastoring, parenting, that erases you, any relationship that erases you, any relationship that belittles you, any relationship that is condescending, any relationship that makes you feel small, any relationship that blames you repeatedly and tries to make you feel insignificant is a toxic relationship, no matter who you are in that relationship with: a boss, a mentor, a parent, a pastor, a friend. So, you want to identify toxic mentorship or toxic friendship. It reduces you. And I've been there before. And a part of me always likes to take accountability that I must have been toxic to some people before also, because who I am today is not who I was last year, not who I was 2 years ago, not who I was 5 years ago, not who I was 10 years ago. I like to grow daily, take responsibility, check out my imperfections, and also take responsibility for them. So when I'm talking about toxic relationship, I try as much as possible to also see where and when I was the toxic one. So if you're listening to me today, that mirror is important for you also, because sometimes you are the toxic one. Sometimes you are the friend who belittles, you are the parent who belittles, you are the pastor who belittles, you are the coach who belittles. So put that mirror and look at yourself also, and be able to take responsibility, because every time we point a finger, three other fingers are pointing at us. So 25% or 20% is going out, and then you have this majorly three actually coming back at you. So this is 25%, this is 75% for the three of them. So while you're pointing, let's also point back. Very crucial, very important. So identifying toxic mentorship, it comes with you erasing yourself. It comes with you feeling like you do not matter in the relationship, you do not matter in the conversation and in what you share. And then what are the red flags in coaches, in pastors, in parents, to identify what you call a toxic relationship? What are the red flags? The red flags, number one, will be in this relationship, in this coaching relationship, this pastoring relationship, this friendship. Do you feel heard? Do you feel seen? Do you feel understood? So if you are in a relationship with your coach, your parents, your pastors, it is important that you feel seen, you feel understood, and you feel heard. Once you do not feel seen, you don't feel understood, you don't feel heard, but the person you are in a relationship with wants to feel seen, they want to feel understood, they want to feel heard, while they are shutting you down and ensuring that nothing or no part of you is recognized, there's a problem there. So, a major red flag is, does this person see me? Do they relate with me as a human being? Do they understand me? Are they interested in me? Because when you're working with a coach, the coach must like you. And when I say like, I don't mean that the coach must be your friend. No, but they must be friendly. There's a difference between being someone's friend and being friendly. So the coach must like you. It must come from the abundance of their work and their job. Anyone who doesn't like you, when I say who doesn't like you, it means they must desire to understand you, because you are paying for a service, and the service that you're paying for means that you need to be served. It's the same way your pastor must like you. And when I say your pastor must like you, nothing romantic, nothing out of the ordinary where your pastor must be your family and all those entitlement thing. No, but your pastor must have a passion for members. They must have a passion for the people that they are pastoring. They must like their job or their work or their ministry, whatever they see it as. They must like the people who come to listen to them, who honors them, who respects them. I've been a pastor for 21 years, and I understand what it is to lead a flock. I understand what it is to carry the burden, of liking members, of ensuring that you are praying for them. You are a gatekeeper. You are saying that as long as these people are the people that God has given you to be custodians of, you are responsible for them. So prayer comes from that abundance of love. Respect comes from that abundance of love. It's no longer an obligation. It's the fact that if you gave me this family, you gave me this student, you gave me this man and this woman and this child, Lord, they would not die. Like, I stand as a gatekeeper, I stand as an oracle of God. If these people are the people that I am custodians of, Lord, I pray every demonic attack, every plan of the enemy, like, you pray from a heart of love, not an obligation, not because your alarm rang, no, but because you genuinely like the people that you are in charge of and you are custodians of. So when you're working with a coach, a pastor, even your parents, one of the reasons why millennials, Gen Zs, and other solid people are falling in love with parents or some parents is the fact that they don't feel seen, they don't feel understood, they don't feel respected. And it's not cool at all, because it erases your identity. It gives you some sense of low self-esteem, because someone is saying shut up to you without saying shut up. They just silence you. No matter what you say, it makes no sense to them. But guess what? They want to be the sensible one every time, every day. So that's a major red flag. Another red flag that you should know is, are your leaders accountable? Is this coach accountable? At what point do they turn the mirror to themselves and see the role they are playing in their lives, in other people's lives? Like, do they see themselves? Because trust me, any leader who does not show accountability is a terrorist. Any leader who does not show accountability is a terrorist, because there's no way you can be talking about service and you are not serving. Jesus washed the feet of the disciples. If Jesus can serve, a man can serve his family, a woman can serve his family. That is the reason why I never understand how you can claim to be a Christian and you can be wicked. Because our template is in the book of 1 Corinthians 13. It is clear, it is clean. And you cannot deny not to know that is there. Love is patient, love is kind. Love is not adultery. It's not written in scriptures. And it's not a weakness, it's a decision. Because once you step out of a covenant, you know what you are doing. You are not unconscious, because if they do that to you, it will hurt you. It will pain you. You will most likely leave your spouse. So are the leaders accountable? Anybody that you choose to share your life with, a coach, a pastor, a parent, are they accountable? Parents must learn to apologize. I'm not talking about gentle parenting, no. But you cannot always be right. It's a flavor of witchcraft. You cannot always be right. And when you are wrong, you should apologize because you are teaching your children to take responsibility and be able to apologize in life, in their future. Any wonder we have many men and women who cannot say they are sorry because their parents didn't model that to them. For them, they must always be right. They must have the final say. But in church, we go and dance, do roundabout dance. Who has the final say? But in your own life, in your marriage, in every friendship, you have the final say. So the second red flag, is this coach accountable? Is this pastor accountable? Even your parents, are they accountable? As a married man, as a married woman, as anything that you are you accountable? The third thing I need you to pay attention to, which is a red flag also, is do they gaslight? Do they gaslight? And here is what I mean by gaslighting. When you have someone who tries as much as possible to deflect and make it look like, it's never about them, it's always about other people, it's a toxic relationship. It's a toxic relationship where everything is always about them. You know, when it comes to them, touch not my anointed, they are the ones that nothing should happen to, while every other person can go to hell and stay in hell. So are they people who gaslight? Are they people who gaslight, or do they take responsibility for things also? Another red flag, and in knowing if someone is toxic, is if they are authoritarian in nature. They don't want you to ask questions. Anytime you ask questions, they feel questioned. There's a difference between you asking someone questions and they feeling insecure and feeling questioned. No, you should be able to ask a coach a question without the coach feeling attacked or feeling like you are belittling them. And you know, the questions, of course, must be respectful and kind just across board because both of us are humans. But you should be able to ask questions pertaining to whatever you are there with them or you are paying them for or anything. You know, enough of the fact that leaders want to be honored and the people who chose to honor them are not being honored back. No, that's spiritual witchcraft. That's wickedness. When people honor you, what you should do is to love your neighbor as yourself. Return the honor. Respect them. So are they people who you can ask questions? If you cannot ask a coach, a pastor, a parent questions without them feeling challenged or without them thinking that you are questioning them, it's a problem. Then another thing I need you to know is, how do they relate with other people? Are they intimidating? Are they manipulating? Do they emotionally react? Because let me tell you something, some of these coaches and pastors and these people have anger issues, and we see it on social media every time. Any little thing they react, they just act like they're throwing tantrums. And we need emotional maturity across board. You know, acting like if any little thing does not go your way, you throw tantrum. So you are a 55-year-old man, but you are acting like a 7-year-old boy. You begin to stamp your feet, you threaten them. If you say something about me, I will arrest you. If you do this, I will do that. And then you look at Jesus and you see everything Jesus had to go through without intimidating people with legal or law or whatever. You know, just anything just brings out whoever they think they are. Some even go to the extent of cursing and saying people should die. And you know, you're just wondering, what is going on here? The person who misbehaved or malfunctioned, is the person right? No. But what exactly did the Constitution say we should do? We should love. You curse, in fact, when they even come out and start speaking big English and start cursing and declaring death, and let me tell you something. You can be anointed and have anger issues. Both of them can be true. You can be anointed and be a nuisance. You can be anointed and be prideful. You know, We just do so many things and cover up with the anointing of God. Let me tell you something. The anointing of God builds character. So when you have a leader who has anger issues, who is emotionally reactive, who at every opportunity they throw tantrums just because things don't go their way, I beg you in the name of whoever you serve, pray for them and release them. Because if you stay under that covering or stay with that person, if you are not careful, you may begin to take up some of their behaviors. You may not just even know, because iron sharpens iron, and if you are with wisdom, there's a tendency wisdom will rub off on you. And if you are with foolishness, there's this tendency that foolishness will rub off on you. It may just be like you and peanut butter. You are bread, they are peanut butter. One way or the other, you will just rub off and you will just be doing that. So once you see that they are not taking responsibility, they are throwing tantrums, they don't want you to speak to them, in a normal way. I'm not talking about disrespect or belittling them. No, I'm talking about people that it is clear that any little thing, as long as it doesn't go their way, they will throw tantrums. I've been there before, I've seen it, and I just look back and I say, and I pray genuinely for, people, because all of us are coming from different places and sometimes people have not caught up, with growth. But as much as possible, I also don't want us to be the ones hurting people, especially when you know that what you're doing, because sometimes people genuinely know what they're doing. In fact, most times people know what they're doing. I won't lie to you. How do I know? Because I work in that space where I listen to people. And when you ask them genuinely, did they know what they're doing? They will tell you yes, because they were scared, they wanted control. Another red flag is a controlling pastor, controlling coach, controlling parent. That's toxicity. Kodarara. Like, when you are very controlling, it comes from a place of insecurity, which is you don't want anything out of your reach or purview, or out, you don't want anything to go out of the way. Like, you want to ensure, sometimes it's from anxiety and some childhood trauma and just a whole lot of things going on there. But when we're talking about people who are controlling, some people are so controlling to the point where everything they say, they want you to do it without thinking. That's not the will of God. That is people who are trying to steal, kill, and destroy you. So, with 6 different points, I hope that you've been able to identify anyone who is toxic, because as much as possible, you should avoid them. You should avoid them. And while avoiding them, ensure that you are not that kind of person. Because you know what I usually say, when you're pointing your finger, 3 are coming back to you. And in everything that you do as a parent, especially my solid fathers in the house, you cannot be controlling your wife and thinking control is a sign of respect. No, control is a sign of low self-esteem and insecurity. And control is a sign of deeper issues. It's a sign of the fact that you are scared that if you are not authoritarian, if you are not wicked, they won't respect you. Respect doesn't come from you yelling, screaming, and shouting like a vagabond. Respect comes from you respecting other people and letting people know that, okay, there's a choice here. This is how we're supposed to behave normally. And there are rewards in actions like this, and there are consequences in actions like this. You can pass your conversation across or your message across without cursing, insulting, threatening. In fact, I will end it with this one. Any parent, pastor, boss, or coach who is always threatening you is very toxic. I'm telling you, why are you threatening people? What are you afraid of? What are you scared of? When we were growing up, I used to hear things like, if you leave a church, you will leave the covering of God and you won't succeed. That was when I was growing up. Oh. I'm 40, I'll be 41 in September. So I've been around for a while. It may be different from your own generation. When I was growing up, they used to threaten us that when we leave a church, we have left the covering, it will not be well with us, we will not succeed. They will shall concoct different things to ensure that we don't go. We stay there. But we have left churches, but we didn't leave God. That's the difference. We have left churches and God increased our greatness. Because guess what? It was God that directed us to your church in the first place. If God chooses to now direct us somewhere else, why are you fighting the direction? When I came to your church, did you curse me? Maybe you welcomed me. When I came to your church, you were happy. You said you were growing, that evangelism was working. Now that God has sent me somewhere else, you are now reacting and angry and cursing. Why? The place I left in to come and join you, it just comes from low self-esteem and a whole lot of, wildness and insecurities. We're cursing and doing all of those things. So once people begin to threaten you that it will not be well with you because you left them, except you hurt them before leaving them, because sometimes we also are not really normal. So except you hurt them, so ensure that you yourself, your hands are clean, like Pontius Pilate washing his hands. Ensure your hands are clean, but when somebody is threatening you and they are doing all of those things, just bless them and let them go, because in this life there will always be toxic people who don't want to outgrow that toxicity, who don't want to develop and increase themselves and be better people. And there's really nothing we can do. You can't help someone who doesn't want to help himself. That's why even God gave us what you call choices. You pick what you want. People can choose to remain toxic or they can choose to be better. But I've given you at least 7 points on how to identify someone who is toxic, because I don't want you to come and say, I did not know. Even a toxic relationship, if you're in any relationship, you are dating or you are married, and your partner is doing everything to silence your voice, you shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be there. That's another point you should hold on to. In any relationship, pastoring, coaching, parenting, love, anything, friendship, if your partner is doing anything to silence your voice, after a while, you will forget who you are. You will be voiceless and you will disappear. They will erase you. Nobody born of a woman, no mere mortal should erase you. That's a toxic relationship. So in case you don't know, go and check out your relationships now. Are they silencing you? Or do you feel seen, heard, and understood? If they are silencing you at work, they are silencing you in church, at home, everywhere, they have turned to silencer. You must leave that place. Now your strategy is how to leave and ensure that you don't return. But anywhere that you are being silenced, you must leave that place. Like I've seen people before who were happy, boisterous, going through life, enjoying their lives, and they fell in love. And the last time they were joyful and happy was when they were single. I've seen people also who started jobs like that. I've seen people who joined churches like that. And any little thing, my pastor said, it's not even God said, it's not my pastor said. That's not how to be a child of God. The word of God must be higher than any other person's word. We don't go to God through people. We go to God through the Holy Spirit, not through a mere mortal. So any relationship you are in that you are being silenced, today, the 15th of June, I need you to start strategizing your exit, because if you don't leave physically, you have already left emotionally, you've left, like you're already silenced. The last thing is to have a emotional wake up for you, where you are just lying in state and we are looking at you and saying, wow, here lies the remains of this person. You are not dead yet, but there's nothing in you that is alive. Thank you so much for joining again. I would see you during the week, most likely on Tuesday, with something important and something solid. To sign up for any of our emotional intelligence courses, whether for your children or for yourself, or to speak to me as a coach, please send me a DM on Instagram at emotionsdoctor. And I would attend to you. Thank you so much. Enjoy your Sunday. And fathers, present husbands, thank you for what you're doing. I really like you guys. I pray for you guys that God increase your greatness. Please share this with other people. I will see you on Tuesday. Remember to like the video. Yes. please use your prosperous hands to like the video, subscribe to it, and please share with your friends. Share with your friends. Please subscribe, like. Yes, we'll spend 25 minutes. 25 minutes short, just on time. It would be on my channel. You can watch again. Please share with anybody that you know and you can watch it. And then please remember to like the video and subscribe. I care about you. I will see you again on Tuesday. And then the topic is going to be something hot. So turn your notifications on. Happy Father's Day to all the awesome men out there.